Let's get right to the reading, guys. So I have Archangel Metatron here, which means that those of you resonating with this message may have worked with him before, or he is stepping forward to indicate that you would benefit from working with him. I was also getting some downloads early this morning about the Silver Collective, which is that there's a new job coming in for you. This may be an opportunity for a different position. This may be a shift or delegation of duties in your current role, or you may be starting something new. But there is something big changing for you in the job market. You may have been, I'm literally hearing you may have been working a 9 to 5, but you won't be anymore. This may mean your hours are shifting, or you're starting your own business, or you're taking different shifts. I'm hearing some of you may be prioritizing education or going back to school or something. And this doesn't have to be at a traditional college. This can be you deciding that you're going to school yourself. You could be buying books and educating yourself on topics that you're passionate about. You could be becoming the teacher so that you can then in turn teach others, so that you can perform a practice. There's so much information that is available, and I think this collective knows how to take advantage of research opportunities and learning opportunities without needing a teacher to sit them down and say, hey, here's this homework, hey, here's this test. The universe is your teacher, right? The universe is who tests you. You don't need another person necessarily to do that. So yeah, there's a big job shift coming in for you. I'm seeing golden lights, which may be a confirmation for some of you, either when you see them or you may have recently seen them. Something from the past is coming up to be relevant in this future. This could be that there is an ability you had in the past that you overlooked that's going to be very relevant and very helpful in this new job opportunity. Or this could be a connection from the past, or something you did in the past is now paving the way and making it easier for something you're about to do. So just lean into whatever your gifts are and trust that the path will unfold before you. I'm hearing it's going to be scary for some of you to shift out of this 9 to 5 mindset. A lot of you have been raised to think that a 9 to 5 is the ultimate goal, but you're being told to stop trading your time for money. That's the biggest message coming through. Stop trading your time for money, because what you have to offer, collective, is so much bigger than money. You have soul medicine to offer people, and that you can't put a price tag on that. So I am sensing from this collective, there's this like heart wound pain. Like I'm seeing like a sore, and if I touch the sore, it is painful. It is around the concept of earning money, of how it's kind of never enough, and how no matter how hard you have worked, it's like the money has slipped through your fingers. And the reason for this is because you are never going to be rewarded for staying in jobs that aren't aligned with your purpose. The universe is always going to force you out and make you uncomfortable in the situations that don't serve you. This isn't to be mean. It's literally teaching you where you should not be. There's a reason you haven't been successful till now. And you may have experienced amounts of success, but nothing like the success you are going to experience. So I'm getting for some of you, you have felt this weight of responsibility, this sense of purpose, this desire to transform, to perform, and to be. Like you knew you were going to be somebody, but you may feel like at this point in your life, you haven't been somebody. You may have done things and people have applauded you for those things, but it just feels like it wasn't enough. It feels like it wasn't it. That's because your soul purpose is still calling to you. You haven't fully actualized your soul purpose yet. So that's why you're kind of walking around in the state of ennui at times, which is this French term that means like divine discontent, basically. It's like everything is boring and nothing is exciting, nothing is fun. It's like it's this sort of feeling. Great word. But yeah, you're walking around feeling mismatched from your reality, because your reality is way better actually than the one you're currently living in. The one that you're supposed to be in is better. So that's why you're suddenly kind of waking up and you're realizing how misaligned things are. And it's shocked you. You've had some events happen recently that have like quite shocked you in terms of like tearing you up from the roots and making you realize how misaligned your priorities were, because you were doing your priorities according to the school test, is what I'm hearing. Like you were so good at passing tests or passing rules and things like that. Like you're good at learning and regurgitating the information because that's what you've been taught is valuable. But now the universe is asking you to think for yourself. You're going to be asked to go down a path that is not aligned with anyone else's. Not aligned with anyone else's in the sense that this is unique to you. This is completely your path. You're going to be leaders of other people. You're going to lead other people in discovering themselves. But before you can do that, you have to discover yourself. And you're going to be one of the hardest selves for you to discover that you've ever encountered, because you're so close to yourself and you have had to see yourself through every death and rebirth. There's a reason that you have this aura around you, that you have this silver glow. It's because you're a very high performing, high functioning empath. And it's like I've said it before in the previous channeling, it's like it's a blessing and it's a burden, because people don't understand what it is to have these gifts. And I just saw 5:55 on the timer, which fives indicate change. So especially 5:55, I always know that really big change is coming in when I happen to see those. So yeah, and I'm getting some throat chakra clearing happening here. So you're going to be stepping into a position where you clear your light more effectively, where you're able to communicate your truth without doubt, without backing down, because you know you're right. There's so much you know you're right about. And I feel from this collective, they're tired of seeing people succeed with less talent than them. That's not to be vain. That's not to be prideful. It's just, you're so knowledgeable, you're so wise and experienced, and yet I feel like you constantly are seeing people who know less than you, who have done less than you, who have had it easier than you, and they're succeeding, and you're saying, why? Like, why is it that these people are popping off when I'm way more qualified? Honey, the reason is because you're meant to pop off, and you're not doing so because you're not aligning yourself with that. You're holding yourself back. That's the only reason you're not popping off. The world wants to see more of you, not less of you. So a lot of you, online presence or being visible or social media is going to be very important. Some of you may have started leaning into this aspect, but you need to lean more fully into it. You need to become more visible in the way that feels aligned for you. And think of it this way. Let's say I need a dentist or something, or a doctor or a lawyer. I need some professional in a field, and I start looking around for one. How do you think I find someone like that? You know, if you think for a second, if you've ever had to find one, where would you start? A lot of people start by word of mouth. They'll start asking friends and family, hey, have you used a lawyer before? Or do you know a dentist? Do you know a doctor that's good? Some people will check with their insurance, i.e. your spirit team, and say like, hey, do you know which one of these people I should pick? What should I do? You might also look up like a list of people. And I mean, if you live in a sizable city, you might get dozens and dozens of people, which is kind of overwhelming, right? So you're ultimately going to be drawn to the vibe of the person. So if your friend says, oh, this so-and-so is my lawyer and he was just so great, you know, he took care of everything and he was a little expensive, but I got the results I wanted on my case and that was great, right? You're going to trust that lawyer, even if he's a little expensive, 100 times more because your friend recommended him and gave you the vibe of him just by talking about him, versus looking up his name in a book and just cold calling him, right? You need to think the same for your spiritual services or your business or your services, because I'm getting a lot of you will be business owners of some kind. Your way is not to work a 9-to-5. It's not to work for other people. It's to own your own business. Because ideally, if everyone got to own their own business in some way and just do the thing they love and are passionate about, it would solve a lot of our issues, because we could just class into what we're good at and enjoy what we do and not suffer, and then just trade stuff with people. Or, you know, at least if we got money for our services, it would be easy. So I'm hearing you can make more money in less time doing what you love and are good at than working a 9-to-5, even if you feel like the 9-to-5 is paying you an okay amount of money or even a good amount of money. So, excuse me. Yeah, there's a lot of passion behind this message for sure. You need to stop looking at what other people are doing, I'm being told. You need to start looking at what you're doing. There's this admonishment with this message. It's like, don't pay attention to what other people are doing, because what they're doing is irrelevant. What they're doing may or may not be what is working for them. Because a lot of time what you see that is working for other people is not the majority of what is working. So here's an example. Let's say someone is posting consistently or doing a certain strategy for months and months and maybe years on end, and then suddenly one video takes off. Maybe that video didn't really have that much that was different about the other content. It just happened to like coincide with maybe a popular topic that day, happened to, overlap with what the content of their video was, but they didn't really do that knowingly. It was just a chance, right? And they took off, and suddenly they gained 100 followers overnight, 200 followers, 1,000 followers, 5,000 followers, 10,000 followers. Like suddenly their world is totally changed, right? And if you looked at what they did to be successful, you might look at that isolated incident and be like, okay, they did this format for this video, or they did this thing for this sales pitch, or they did this for that. And you could break it down and you could nail every single one of those variables and you would flop, right? It's not because you did anything wrong. It's because there's always an element of chance at play. And you can't rely on what made another person successful to make you successful. I promise you, what makes you successful is going to be different than everyone else. You can borrow themes if you want, but you're so unique, collective. I have to emphasize that. I can't emphasize it enough. You're so unique. You're so uniquely coded that you can't copy the blueprint for other people. It's not going to work for you. It's not. I'm literally seeing like a really complex circuit board and then you trying to overlay this very simple like child circuit board. It's like, it's just not going to allow your ideas to shine and function if they need to. Like you need custom circuit board parts. So your layout has to be custom for you. And guess what? Your layout is going to work for you. And whatever you need to do to be successful is going to work because you are so unique and so individualistic. We are entering an era where hyper specialization is extremely valuable. Things like ChatGPT make everyone a generalist. A lot of people know a little bit about everything. But if you can be a person who deeply and fully understands a topic, or nuanced takes on different issues that pertain to their special area, you are incredibly valuable. Because something that ChatGPT and artificial intelligence currently and other forms of searchable content on the internet, something they can't do is give specific advice. I'm hearing you have specific gifts. One of my cats just pounced on my other, so I heard that. You have specific gifts that will solve specific issues for people. You're not the person that's like, how do I put this? I'm seeing the image of on YouTube, like if you go on to say, how do I unclog a drain? And YouTube can show you like 1,000 different people who are teaching you how to unclog a drain. You're not that person. You're the person that's like, how do you unclog a drain of this specific type of faucet with this specific type of PVC pipe underneath with this specific type of substance? Like you're a specialist. Your kind of stuff cannot be found just anywhere. It can't be found anywhere because you're making it right now. You are alchemizing things into a form that hasn't been seen before. That's why your work's going to be so valuable, and that's why it feels like you aren't hitting your market yet, because your market doesn't really exist yet. People have a need for this service or this product or this thing that you're offering, but they don't know where to find it because you're not there yet. So you got to get your ish together and get there so the people can support you and they can benefit from this wonderful tool and resource and service you're going to be offering the world. Like I said, that's going to be different for each one of you, but you are not here to be one of a million. You're here to be one in a million. So you've got to really tap in and lock into that confidence, knowing that you have something so tremendously, beautifully amazing to offer. People are dying to see it. People cannot wait to see it. And you need to start telling yourself that, because some of you are not telling yourself that enough, and you're doing yourself a disservice. And not only that, but you're doing the people who want to benefit from it a disservice. I have a very impactful, I read a very impactful book a few years ago that completely changed the course of my life because it hit on a subject that I needed a lot of help in a very specific way. And this isn't to promo that book. But it was like a survival guide for those with psychic abilities. It was kind of my last Hail Mary when I was really struggling of how to integrate my abilities. And I just saw 444 on the timer. So, and that book literally like saved my life. I'm not joking. And it's not because that was the most amazingly well-written book. It's not because it was saying anything that hasn't been said before. It's because the vibrational frequency of the person who wrote it had been through things similar to me, and she was able to present information in an approachable way that made me feel validated, safe, and seen. So something about your gift, your offering, is going to make people feel validated, safe, and seen. You're going to be offering a feeling. You're going to be selling a service that provides a feeling to people. And you need to start seeing what you offer in terms of energetic frequency, in forms of energetic currency, rather than just money. I think you're really limiting yourself by telling yourself like, oh, I'm going to charge this much for it, or I need to do this much for it. No, stop. You're not selling something to get money. You're giving an experience. You're selling a frequency. You're exchanging energy literally with people. And your energy is extremely valuable. So that's why the currency has to reflect the value that your frequency has. Excuse me, a little confirmation burp there. So you need to get it into your head that what you have to offer is extremely valuable. It's not vain or conceited of you to want money for it, but don't even just limit yourself to money, because abundance exists in all sorts of ways. You can get connections out of this. Like, you can ask the universe to provide you with supportive friend groups, with fellow business entrepreneurs, with partners to help support this business, eventually employees, other leaders. You want the right training and classes and circles to be walking in, because you're going to be also transitioning into dreams you never had before, into rooms you never had before. I promise you, set your clock for 3 months from now, and your life is going to look totally different than it does now. You're not going to even believe how crazy different your life 3 months from now is going to look. Because I'm seeing a vision right now of you like walking into a boardroom with high-level executives kind of thing, right? And that could be metaphorical or literal for some of you. This is a collective I'm channeling for, so it's not specific to one of you, but that's the energy. Is you've been thinking, how do I get hired at the base level, entry level, first floor? Meanwhile, your gifts are meant for CEO, executive level positions. That's why you're not getting in on the first floor. So if you've had job apps that aren't going through, if you're having really bad experiences with your employer or your coworkers, just know it's because you're not meant to be there. I've said this before in one of my channelings over on my Instagram, but if you had the choice between a good experience and a bad experience that lasts 2 years for both of them, and which would you choose? Basically, it's like you could have a good experience for 2 years or a bad one for 2 years, but it's going to change at the end of the 2 years. Which would you rather have? A lot of you will not let go of the good experience when the 2 years comes, but you will be happy to let go of the bad one. So sometimes the universe is sending you bad experiences not to punish you, but because you refuse to let go of the experiences that felt good for a while, for the 2 years. So you have to understand, it's not punishment. It's simply, it's alignment. It's a matter of putting you in the right position. You have to start respecting yourself enough to let go of things while they are still good, so you can leave with a good memory. Because if you continue to wait, the universe will turn that situation sour. I'm saying the universe does not play games about you. They will not waste your time. So if the universe is saying like, hey, you need to leave your job in 6 months, and you say, oh, but this job is so nice, it's so stable, it does this income. I literally just saw something fall off a table, which is really funny because I just said, oh, it's so stable. And then a plastic bag just fell off my table out of nowhere. It's hilarious. My cat's going over to look at it. But yeah, you're thinking, oh, this is so great. Why would I leave my job? 6 months comes and surprise, surprise, you don't leave your job because your coworkers are amazing and your boss is amazing and your pay is decent. And yeah, it's got its problems, but it could be worse. Then all of a sudden, guess what? Universe says, okay, I told you 6 months was up. Time is done. Move on. And because you're not, things are going to get very, very bad. So guess what starts happening? Your coworkers start gossiping about you. Your boss suddenly hates you, starts assigning you extra work. You get forced to do overtime. your projects start going sideways. Like you're working hard, but you can't produce the same amount of work. You start having health issues. You see what I'm saying? You suddenly start running into all these roadblocks, and only when you are sick of that job will you finally let go of it. And the universe is really tired of giving you shitty experiences to make you let go of something that you could have just walked away from. Like, I'm just getting this strong feeling from the universe of like, I'm so tired of making you suffer when you could have just let go of this. It could have been easy, but you had to make it hard, is the energy. And the reason is because, and there's this really gentle energy coming through with this, is like, you're kind of like a child in this way. And this isn't a patronizing way, but it's like, you know, if you like something, you're going to stick with it. You have a high sense of loyalty. You're very sweet. You are a silver soul. You have an inherent sense of loyalty to things. But I'm literally actually thinking of that meme that suddenly came to mind that says, like, you have an unnatural allegiance to losers. But think of it this way. Your job that you have in high school, no matter how much you love that, you're going to quit that job when you go to college somewhere in another state, right? You're not going to give up going to college out of state just so you can stay at this little bakery or at Foot Locker or Target or whatever, right? You know that job has an end date, right? That's not your end goal. Some of you really need to start looking at things in your life and evaluating if that's truly your end goal. Stop saying, do I enjoy this right now? And using that as the metric for whether you should stay or not. And start saying, do I see myself doing this here in 5 years? Would I be happy with absolutely nothing in my life changing income-wise, free time-wise, enjoyment-wise for 5 years? I guarantee you're going to start looking at things differently because you're too present mindset coded, unfortunately, some of you. And I say that with love because that's good. We're supposed to be in the present, but you can't evaluate your future based on how much you enjoy the present moment. The present moment only lasts so long. And if you look at something that you like, honestly, if you look at something you prayed for and it's suddenly not enjoyable, like let's say you get that apartment, but now you're having issues with roaches and you have to have maintenance come and take care of that. And, oh, this thing broke and this happened. It's like, hey, you asked for that apartment. Now you have to be ready for the stuff that comes along with it, right? Don't just go based off your mood in the moment of saying, oh, this is too much work. This is too tiring. I should just give up on this, right? So just in the same way that you wouldn't give up on something that's having a few hiccups or a few problems in the moment, don't stick with something forever just because it feels good in the moment. I saw 2222 on my timer there. So, excuse me, sorry for that little bit of a passion message that was, excuse me, oh my God, I keep burping. That was coming through. Hold on, I have to stop my cat from eating something right here. Sorry, hold on. I could have just paused this, but instead I ran over to stop her. She does not know what's good for her sometimes. Anyway. Feels like a little bit of a message. Actually, that's hilarious. That is like literally, so that bag that fell earlier that I was talking about, it was from a little pastry that I had, and a few crumbs of it came out on the floor. So she went over, she's my other cat, she went over to like eat it, and I had to take it away from her because she's there thinking, oh, it smells good, I'm going to eat this. And I'm like, no, that's not actually good for you. So metaphorically speaking, some of you may also find that applies to you, where sometimes the universe snatches something away from you that seems good because the universe knows that it's not going to be good for you. So anyway, I always set the intention for my channelings that anything that happens in the channeling is going to be significant when it's out of the norm like that. And it always amuses me what kind of stuff comes through because I never know, but it's always fun. Anyway. So let me see what else needs to be said here for you. I'm hearing your journey is going to be a hard one, but it's going to be so rewarding. And the reason that it's going to be hard is because you're building something that has never been done before. No one has ever done it like you're going to do, and no one's ever going to do it like you do it again. You have this amazing and unique opportunity before you that's going to be like changing the world. And you think that you're not changing the world because you're not like some world leader, or you're not like, I don't know, a country, like, I don't know, a big corporation. you are changing the world simply by even changing one other person, because you don't know the ripple effect that your words and actions have. You have lasting impact on people. There are people from your past that still think of you that you haven't thought about in years. You are an unforgettable soul. You are the type of person that people only come across once in their lifetime. Yeah, it's a very powerful message for some of you. Like, you are unforgettable. People may claim to love you or hate you, but they will never forget you. It all depends on their experience of you, of how much of themselves they were seeing, and also how much of your trauma that you were currently working on healing. Some people tend to judge others as being more or less spiritually advanced or as good of a person, and they forget that we don't meet who people are. We only ever meet when people are. So whenever you meet someone, you're only meeting when they are in that moment. You're not meeting who they are, because who they were a year ago is totally different. You're meeting who they are in this moment, but you're not going to know who they are a year from now. So that's why it's so important to always understand you meet people when they are, and appreciate and acknowledge them for when they are in that moment, and understand they may change for better or for worse at any point in time, based on their free will, based on their choices, based on their destiny. So you have to just let go of this concept of thinking like, well, someone I used to know was really good, so they must still be good. Excuse me, I'm clearing my throat chakra again, and I just saw 555 again on my timer. Yeah, just because someone used to be really good doesn't mean they're still good anymore. Just because someone used to be really bad doesn't mean they're still bad anymore. So learning to let go of this judgmental narrative is going to be really helpful for you, because I think you have this even if you don't fully realize it, and it's something you're working to deprogram from, because this is a shame-based subliminal messaging of thinking that you can't change from what you once were. Because what this kind of insidious messaging does is it convinces you that you can never be who you're meant to be. You can never change. You can never be someone different than who you've been. And guess what? You are always going to remember yourself at your worst, because those are often the most dramatically impactful moments. You're always going to remember when someone judged you for being wrong, when someone judged you for being right, when someone judged you for dressing wrong, when someone judged you for being too right in the situation, right? So you're going to remember that way more, because the nice compliment a stranger pays you on the street, it's like, okay, cool, but that's a little one-off. They don't even really know me. But sometimes really harsh criticism from someone that you think knows you sticks and burns way deeper. So this is why it's so important for you to really work on the self-concept of love and the self-concept of like change and forgiveness, and knowing like, you are not who you are. You are only ever when you are. And if you can start to understand that, conceptually speaking, you're going to start to see everyone around you so differently. You're going to be like, wow, what an honor to meet this person when they are in their journey, because I don't know where they came from and I don't know where they're going, but when they are right now, we are aligned. There's something really powerful about that. Makes me very emotional to be channeling into the energy of that feeling of just the amazement of like, wow, when we are, So I hope that makes sense. I know that's a little bit of an out there concept that I'm channeling, for you right now. But I think over time, as you think about it, it'll start to sink in and make more sense. It's something that has taken me a long time to wrap my head around and come to terms with, of accepting. Because ultimately it meant accepting myself for being someone different than who I used to be. So when people now, I don't have a lot of connection with some people from my past. And if now, every so often I'll run into someone who remembers me being very different. And, because I didn't always have a psychic business. I didn't always do channelings and stuff. And I was an ex-fundamentalist Christian for almost a decade, actually. And so now when someone kind of asks, like, why do you do what you do? Why do you do that now? Like, what happened? You've changed. You're so different. This isn't you. This isn't you. It's such a funny statement to me now. But anyway, I just say, this is who I am, though. It's funny you would say this isn't me, because this is who I am right now. What you're thinking of is who I used to be in a totally different environment, totally different circumstances. It's been 10 years. So yeah, that's just something to think of that maybe some of you can relate to, is people from your past thinking and projecting that you should be a certain way, like you owe it to them to be this character in their story. You don't owe it to anyone to be a character in their story. Like that is no longer your role. It's never been your role, and now it's definitely no longer your role. So just be really gentle with yourself as you're doing this transition, because the less judgment you have towards others, the less judgment you're going to have towards yourself, and vice versa. If you judge yourself less, you'll judge others less. You're very quickly going to become so consumed by your progress and soul growth here, you're going to care a lot less what others think. I promise you, you're really going to care a lot less what other people are thinking of your journey, because you're going to be so busy being successful, you could not give two flies about what anyone else is doing, because it literally matters so little to you whether they're successful or not. It's not a competition. You're going to be successful no matter what. So you don't really care if they're successful or not, because it doesn't impact your success at all. And also, whether or not they quote unquote believe in you being successful, that doesn't matter either, because your success is plain for everyone to see. And if you haven't really felt like you've experienced enough success yet, it is coming. It's promised to you. That's why you're still here listening to this message and it's resonating with you. It's because it's meant for you, because you know in your soul that there are parts of this or all of it that is true for you. So yeah, let that be your confirmation that when you stay listening to messages like this, even if you feel this self-doubt within you, just know if that doubt was strong enough, you would have clicked away by now. You would be somewhere else by now. But you stayed because you kept thinking, no, but some of this still makes sense. There's still parts of this that resonate too deeply with me. I can't deny it. And if those parts resonate, then I should also consider if other parts of the message resonate too. And I think that's great, because while this is a collective reading and it's not going to resonate 100% for everyone, there will be some people it resonates 100% for. There will be some people it resonates 90% for, or 80% or 70%. Enough of it will resonate for the people it's meant for, though, that it will activate something within them. Yeah, because all I am doing here is leading you back to yourself. I'm just assisting you in finding yourself. I'm giving you the confidence by mirroring back what you already know is contained within your own soul. The reason that you enjoy listening to this at all is because it's showing you something you deeply love about yourself, whether you are aware of it or not. You're proud of something that you have recognized in yourself through hearing this reading. I didn't do anything for you. I didn't give anything to you that wasn't already there. I simply revealed it to you. I said it, and then you realized, oh, wait, that is me. Oh my gosh, they're right. And again, I did not do anything for you. All I did was just realize, oh my God, my cat's just knocked this over. 1 second. Oh my God, my cat actually broke my recording device. That's crazy. I've never seen this before. That's crazy. I wonder if I can put this back together, but they literally... Okay, first of all, I'm going to wrap this reading up, but it's like this little rectangle that plugs into my iPad so that I can talk into my microphone and it records in the iPad. They ran into the cord that was charging my iPad, and it shot my iPad across this table. And then because of the fall of the iPad, because it like knocked it over on the table, the two little halves of this rectangle that were attached to my iPad split, and then these two black halves are here, and it's literally just the circuit board. I may take a picture. I don't know if there's a way I can take a picture and like upload this at the end or something. Oh, I know what I can do. I'm seeing 3333. That's effing wild. I'll take a picture of this and I'll put it in one of the 4 pictures that I use to identify this video, since I always channel those images in anyway. This is too crazy. I was talking about circuit boards earlier. People, this is crazy. So what I'm hearing is you're going to break the mold. And the fact that I'm still able to record this is crazy, because this shouldn't even be functioning. It's broken, but it's not broken. So, yeah, hopefully this makes a lot more sense, because if I can do this correctly, you're going to be seeing these pieces while I'm doing it, while you're listening to this channeling. instead of me just staring at the pieces being like, I hope this makes sense. Of course, you'll see the picture. Wow. Silver Collective, you are a treasure to channel for. Yeah, this has never happened to me before. So something earth-shattering, groundbreaking, record-breaking, something is happening for you that's going to just blow everything out of the water. And yet you're still going to be functioning fine. Because again, my iPad is still plugged in and this is still recording. I'm still seeing on the recording app the sound indicating that it's still recording. So, yeah, I gotta go like ground after this intense reading. The energy is crazy here. I'm so excited to hear from you guys too. Please do let me know in the comments if this resonates for you, and give a like and a follow, or subscribe. It really does help the channel out. It helps me to connect better with you when you subscribe to my channel, because it puts your energy kind of at the forefront and helps me channel more specific messages. And then it also helps this video content to reach other people who are part of the Silver Collective. So thank you so much. I look forward to channeling for you again soon. Have a fabulous Venus Day Friday today.